stay smoking hot in the month of August. You just heard Kelly tell that to David Ross, 15-2 in the month of August. Cap and Holly with you. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live is rolling on. Cubs get it done. John Lester really good. And our guy, Mr. Soleros, hits one way out.
Great swing of the bat right there. A lot of fun. Listen, this is what you want to do. I think the momentum that you see in this series, leading us into tonight's ball game, to this Cubs team's coming out, they're scoring some runs. Jimmy Nelson comes into tonight struggling, scuffling. Loser has lost his last 5 starts. You're saying, get the offense rolling, let John Lester settle in and see where this thing goes. They get it done early, set this thing up. How many times we've talked about getting that early lead and watching our pitching just kind of roll with it? I mean, it was a formula for success tonight. John Lester, he labored a little bit, 118 pitches. That's a lot, but you know what? This game felt like it was in hand from the beginning.
All right, we will have Joe Madden. We'll have highlights. We'll start it all with our traditional get it done, Cubs win again. All right, Cubs get it done. We'll be right back, take you through the highlights of Joe Madden. It's coming up. Cubs post-game live brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Now you have the freedom to save even bigger at the Ford Freedom Sales Event. Just announced, get 0% financing for 72 months on 2016 Explorer or Edge. Plus, specially tagged vehicles now get $1,000 smart bonus. Now you have the freedom to choose and the freedom to save with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now get 0% financing for 72 months on 2016 Explorer or Edge. Plus, specially tagged vehicles get $1,000 smart bonus.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Out to Vegas for the weekend. Just roll those dice. Babe, put jets and guys and dolls. On a swinging night in the town.
Here you go.
Our dog is gonna love camping with us.
Come on, get in.
Eric,
Come on. Let's do it again. Ready?
my turn.
Lease a new 2016 RAV4 with 0 due at signing, 0 down payment, and 0 first month's payment. Or get 0% APR for 60 months on RAV4 during Toyota's annual clearance event. Toyota, let's go places.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers, as reliable as the cars themselves. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Audi, truth in engineering. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Toyota, discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Deep drive left center. Gone, almost to the board. Wow.
Good old number 68 with a bomb. Cubs thrash the Brewers. 6-8-0, a whole lot better than 1-4-0. 76-43 for the Cubs. A season high 33 over 500. Brewers 15 under 52 and 67. John Lester's 13th win. Jimmy Nelson his 13th loss. Hello, welcome into Cubs post-game live presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. He is Todd Hollinsworth. Back from some knee surgery. You okay, partner?
I'm doing. My leg's a little straight right now. It's a little swollen, but I'm good.
You're good. I'm David Kaplan. All right, let's talk about jumping on somebody quickly. Cubs got things rolling in the first, which, boy, if you're John Lester, you just go, whew, I'm good.
Well, right. I mean, again, you know, going into tonight's ball game, you knew that Jimmy Nelson had kind of thrown it out there. He's very well aware of his struggles, and you saw it early on. Couldn't find command of the strike zone. So, again, what do you do as a hitter? You zone in, middle of the plate. You look center, and start looking for pitches to wail on. Easy takes for Cubs hitters. You watched as the ball exploded off the plate. Those aren't hard takes. He wasn't making pitches, so that when he made mistakes, like right there, that was actually a good piece of hitting right there by Addison.
Beautiful piece of
Absolutely, but again, the thought process going the other way, now that's a cookie. That's a mistake. Look where that is, Cappy. That's right down the middle of the plate, 93 miles an hour, and it's part of Jimmy Nelson's struggles right now. That two-seam fastball not sinking. Look how straight that is out over the plate, and Jorge Soler does to it what he's been doing to baseball since his return, turning them around. So good to see. Great swing of the bat right there. I thought a collection of great at-bats in the first inning, which led to a 5-run lead after one.
Yeah, that pitch just did nothing. It just sat there, but really good to see Jorge not foul it back, not pop it up, just get it all. And then David Ross with a little insurance, and that ball was smoked.
Yeah, good to see. A little hanging slider right there. That at-bat was going in a different direction up until that moment. Two good sliders from Jimmy Nelson. It can kind of set this up. This is a 1-2 pitch. You see how bad it is out over the plate and hanging. And again, this is what hitters you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make these mistakes, leave the building, and they do. Great swing of the bat right there for Rossi. Make the lead 6-0 at the time.
All right, time for our Elk Grove pitching recap. Jimmy Nelson with another rough night. 6 earned in 5 innings, falls to 6-13. John Lester picks up the win, allowing 1 run on 3 hits in 6 2/3 of excellent work. Struck out 7, walked just 2, improves to 13-4 this season. He was really, really good tonight.
Yeah, not a whole lot of testing going on. The Brewers didn't put a whole lot to him. I will say the 118 certainly stands out in 6 2/3. He did have some deep count. David Ross was talking about that post-game. You get back to that second inning, got himself in a little bit of trouble. It's where 2 of the hits he gave up ended up in a walk, but again, able to get the out. So it's all about making pitches with John right now. He was just off a little bit. I think he was frustrated with Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire's strike zone. That low strike, which is such a big pitch to John Lester, was debatable tonight, and I think that there were times where you saw it called a strike, times you saw it called a ball, and I think that inconsistency frustrated him at times. So, again, John did a good job making the adjustments, pitching up in the zone when he needed to, and again, for the most part, living down in that zone. A couple of really, really good cutters tonight to some right-handed hitters for strikeouts.
Our UPS store taking care of business, player of the game. I mean, I gotta go John Lester, don't we?
Yeah, why not? Another great start for this incredible rotation, getting it done. It's as important to take the lead when you get it early in a ball game and to make sure that you don't go out there, walk guys, create trouble for yourself. John Lester got dialed in after that second inning and really made it stand up. Again, Cappy, almost somewhat of a boring game just because of the fact that John was so good, setting down the Brewers hitters, and the big inning that you had there in the first inning. It just felt like this was John's game to go as long as he could.
All right, let's take a look at Cubs starters this month. Check these numbers out. 11-0, an ERA of 1.13, 103 in the third innings, just 62 hits, 90 Ks to 20 walks, and a 0.794 walks and hits per inning pitched. And you look at their numbers since the All-Star break, they're insane.
Oh, absolutely insane. Well, 11-0-1-1-3. I mean, we can break it down as far as you want. We know how outstanding they've been, the collection of them, all 5. But, Cappy, it does bring to mind for me this. You know, we talked about the Cubs, how far out in front, 32, 33 games over 500 right now? What is it, 33 games over 500 right now. Home field advantage, setting yourself up, moving towards things, what September's supposed to be about. We know how good this rotation has been, particularly at home. I mean, that's what you're creating is that atmosphere. You don't come into Wrigley Field and beat the Cubs right now. They've been that good, and that's what you're seeing from the starting rotation and the starting staff. I really do believe it kind of leads us to getting the home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
All right, time for our first break here in Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We'll hear from Joe Madden after another Cubs win at Wrigley. We'll be right back.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
If you feel like singing a song and you want other people to sing along, just sing what you feel. Don't let anyone say it's wrong. When there's a light What light? There's a light. What light? There's a light. White light.
A well-put-together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is the precision of professional grade. Step up to GMC and get cash back for up to 16% of the MSRP on these select 2016 GMC vehicles. That's over $8,400 cash back on this Yukon Denali.
Jamie Foxx here for Verizon. According to a leading independent test of 108 top cities in the country, Verizon won the most consistently fast speeds in 90 cities.
Jamie Foxx here for Sprint, also just as fast.
You're not fooling nobody with this.
How many cities did Sprint win?
4. And in 55 cities, Sprint was dead last.
I feel like we're faster.
I feel like you should read the chart.
Don't get fooled by cut rate networks. Get the best. And now get up to 4 free Samsung Galaxy phones, 4 lines, and 16 gigs for just $150. Only on Verizon.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you.
Call Adolescent Growth today and see how our proven treatment programs for eating disorders can begin to bring the sunshine back in the life of your teen and your family.
Please don't take my sunshine away.
Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Why not? Chicagoland Skydiving Center was voted the best in the U.S. with a perfect safety record, a one-of-a-kind environment, and round-trip shuttle service from downtown Chicago. Come experience the greatest adventure in the area. Chicagoland Skydiving Center in Rochelle. Visit us at perfectlygoodairplanes.com.
Cubs win 6-1, their 17th win in their last 20 games. Check these numbers out. Since the All-Star break, they have by far the best record in baseball, 23-8. Next best team is the Mariners at 18-11. Holy smokes, Holly. Look at the Reds. Reds playing better baseball.
Yeah, they have. I've been keeping my eye on them. Their offense has been rolling pretty good, and they've been getting some decent pitching. But Blue Jays playing good baseball. The Cubs are so far out in front. I know this for a fact. On my morning show on MLB Network Radio, we talk about this team to the point where it is. I think even people around the country are starting to really, what's next. I took a bunch of calls this morning. Complaining like, what's this team going to look like in the playoffs and who are they matching up against? It's August. It's mid-August, and we're having these conversations already. The players don't want to talk about it. Joe Madden doesn't want to talk about it. They want to handle their business. That's the way it should be. But this team is playing convincing baseball. They've gone out, they've pitched, they've hit, and they've really showed how deep of a team they really are. And I think Jorge Soler is a great example of that. Hasn't been starting quite regularly, or every day, I should say, but yet his impact is felt when he's out there.
All right, time for Joe Madden's press conference. Brought to you, as always, by our great corporate partners at Xfinity.
That seemed about as cozy as it could be. Yeah, the good start really helped a lot to get those runs quickly. It permitted, because John really didn't have his best command tonight. His stuff was good, but the command wasn't where he normally is. Was it 118 and 6 2/3, right? Wasn't that right? He had good stuff. Command just off a little bit, but we did put those runs up early. We played a nice, clean game otherwise. CJ, nice job. Nice job out of the bullpen after the last time. I think that's going to do a lot for his confidence. And, of course, Travis did his thing at the end. There was a lot of guys unavailable tonight. It got Grimmer up twice, and he didn't even want to do that once. Patton was the last guy, so great job.
Jorge, since he's come back, it just seems like he's swinging at strikes, not chasing.
Exactly. That's why the ball's being struck as well as it is. He's really staying in his zone. He's been very patient. That's something John and Ski promote with him all the time, with all of our hitters. But with him, it's really obvious when he's in his zone, when he's not permitting the pitcher to expand, he's really good.
Did you get an update on Tommy?
I did not. I did not. I just walked in. I don't know anything yet. He got hit by pitch? Oh, you know much more than I do. Oh, good? Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, there you go. Short and sweet after a doubleheader yesterday. Everybody a little tired, but the Cubs get it done. Honda winning box scored. Not a ton in there. I mean, you look at what Jorge Soler did. He had a couple knocks, but the big blow, his 9th home run, a 3-run jack, broke the game wide open. Jason Hayward went the other way with a double. Good to see. David Ross, a home run. And then Zobrist with a 2-hit night.
Well, and again, it's certainly important to talk about. You look at that lineup and you see production, good production top to bottom, guys contributing. I mean, yes, this certainly felt like a victory the Cubs had in hand, but you want to see good at-bats. Even when you've got that kind of lead and you know how well this team has been playing, sometimes it can be difficult as a hitter not to give those at-bats away. The Cubs are very, very good about that, and I give them so much credit because they're so young. That's usually something you learn 3rd, 4th year in the league. Don't give those at-bats away. Don't worry about the score. Don't worry about the game situation. You got to make sure that you stay engaged. And I know that they've been doing a lot of winning lately where they've had these leads. You see their at-bats, they almost seem like they get better, like they're looking to pounce and do more and add to that lead. So, again, I thought we saw enough of that tonight. I kept thinking Addison Russell kept putting good at-bats out there, and Ben Zobrist another nice.
Let's talk more about Jorge Soler. We have our box of Soleros out here that you came up with this concept earlier in the season. And here's a guy that was on the DL for 2 months. And every time since he's come back that they've given him an opportunity, played right the other day, now he's in left. The guy has stepped up, man.
Well, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. You see that since coming back. Now, he's played in 10 games, 7 starts. He's making the case to be starting more, and that's what I love. Jorge Soler is going to have that impact at the major league level. I absolutely believe he's going to be somebody's everyday answer. Certainly, I hope he's the Cubs' everyday answer. But at the right time, good to see the impact, that right-handed power in our lineup to go along with Chris Bryant. Great to see. I mean, he is staying in the zone right now. I thought Joe hit it perfectly. When he's not expanding his strike zone, he kind of talked about it from the pitcher's perspective, where they expand the strike zone, meaning he's expanding his strike zone. When Soler stays out over the plate and basically doesn't chase the slider low and away, that's when he's at his best. It's plain and simple. When he's forcing the pitching into hitters' counts, he's doing damage like this, short and sweet to the ball. It looks big, it looks majestic, but that's actually a very short, quick path to the baseball. Compact and very powerful behind it. So again, he's got a lot of room for error on that bat. And when he squares him up, you know that he's going to do damage, probably extra base hits and home runs as well.
Again, there you go. Soleros. That was after.
He loved it when we did it. I thought, you know what? He's rolling right now. We got to bring the box back.
So we actually got another copy of the box, and we brought it to him at Wrigley, and he's like, really? Really? I said, yeah, Anthony has his cereal, and Holly picked you as key performer one day, and you had a big day, so we had Soleros made for it. He's got it in his locker.
He should.
It's really fun.
It's on fire.
So, anyway, good job for Jorge. Time for another break on Cubs Postgame Live. Tommy La Stella's saga continued today as he returned to the Cubs organization. We'll hear Jed Hoyer's comments with the media and get Holly's thoughts.
Today we're going to talk about the all-new 2016 Chevy Cruze, but you're only going to answer me in emojis. So this Cruze has built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi with 24 gigs of data. It also comes with 24 months of Sirius XM satellite radio.
Like word, Chevy. That's the way to go.
This summer, find your tag and get 16% of MSRP cash back on select remaining 2016 Cruze vehicles in stock. That's over $3,700 cash back on this Chevy Cruze.
From the first building block to the last coat of paint, Menards is here to help with an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices, so you can finish your latest project and start planning the next big thing. Save with an 11% rebate on all Schlage products. Now's the perfect time to add security to your doors with a new keyless entry lever. Save big money and get an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices, now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
In the beginning, there was the original White Castle chicken ring. And now we're introducing the new pretzel chicken ring. Made with delicious all-white meat, they're crispy, shareable, and extremely dippable. The ring is the thing. In fact, it's everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
Mission accomplished. I ordered ahead. Pick up for Mike.
20 chicken rings for just $4.99. Only at White Castle.
Discover Kia's quality at the Top Quality Sales Event. We're celebrating with great deals on the sleek Optima and Optima Hybrid, as well as the Forte Sedan and hatchback. Right now, get 0% APR for up to 66 months plus $1,000 bonus cash, or 0 down, 0 due at signing, and 0 first month's payment on select models. Visit Kia.com to see how Kia quality performed against the competition. The Kia Top Quality Sales Event.
Cubs Postgame Live is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit mykiachicago.com to learn more.
Welcome back. Time now for our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Who's hot and who's not? This month, who's hot? How about Charlie Blackmon, the bearded wonder, hitting .414, 9 home runs and 16 RBIs. There's your player of the month. And who's not? Brutal. Justin Smoke, hitting an awful 125, 4 for 32, 18 Ks, and an awful 450 OPS. That is a brutal month, folks. All right, earlier today, Tommy LaStella reported in Double-A Tennessee. How nice of him, going 1 for 1. LaStella did not report to Iowa an option on July 29th and had been in a stalemate with management about his demotion. Before tonight's game, Cubs general manager Jed Hoyer addressed the situation.
It's an unusual situation. We tried to handle it, in this particular way. We thought we handled it the best we could, and obviously we're excited he's going to get back and start playing again. There's no promises. He's going to Double-A, and we know he can hit. I think he'll probably go down and perform, but hopefully he's not too rusty. But there's no promises, but it is something I'm pretty confident in, that Tommy will go down and perform well offensively.
All right, Holly, let's address the situation. I've made my opinion known when I've done Sports Talk Live or on radio. And for those that haven't seen me in those venues, I didn't play in the big leagues. You did. You're Rookie of the Year, and I'm just a fan and a media guy. For me, if he had a family crisis, a sick child, a sick spouse, a sick parent, I get it, and that stuff comes before baseball. We were told 2 weeks ago by Jed and Theo, there's nothing like that. This is simply Tommy needed some time. He did not want to go to the minors. He only wants to be here. For me, Tommy, I'll see you in the winter. We'll discuss it then. If you're not going to do what management tells you and do what every other guy like Justin Grimm or Albert Almora, who got married and a day later was down in the minors, and they reported with a smile on their face to earn their way back, for me, I couldn't bring him back and have him in my locker room if I was a player. You were a player. What do you say?
Well, I think there's a very real possibility that might actually be the reaction to some of the players. Now, if I was a current Cub, I would have issue with that. I think that the circumstances, like what made you special, you've got options just like everybody else. We had to shed the options, by earning our service time. And we've watched guys get optioned this year, and they've gone down and they've worked their way back up. Some justified, some unjustifiable when you think about the terms that they were sent down. It's not about production. It's about the roster spot. So, again, Tommy's got to understand that. I don't agree with what he did in any way, shape, or form, but I will say this for the Cubs. It's not their decision whether he gets back into that clubhouse, not the players. And that's what I mean by that. That's going to be the front office. That's going to be Joe. They're going to have a decision, and they're going to decide whether he fits back in the room. The obligation that the players have is to make it work, regardless of what you may think of that. So, again, he may not be your favorite guy, and you may disagree with what he did, but you're going to have to find a way to work together. That's the bottom line. There's many, players will tell you, I was in the game for 12 years. I got a lot of good friends, and I've got, guys that weren't friends. But when game time rolls around, you've got to play, and you've got to find a way to pull in the same direction and pull for that individual on the baseball field. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not even going to sit here and try to predict what's going to happen. It's not my style, certainly how I would not have handled myself that way. And I know that there's probably some ticked off Cubs, players, current ones that we've got on this roster right now. But we'll see what ends up happening because, again, it's going to be a decision that's made above the players' heads. I doubt that the input that the players, you know, that they would be asked what they think about this situation. I don't think it really matters. If Tommy's brought back into that room, they've got to find a way to accept him back and pull in the same direction. This cannot be a distraction. He's already made a big enough one.
All right, we'll take a quick time out. We'll come back and get you all caught up on the pitching matchup tomorrow. Everything presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Be right back.
Jamie Foxx here for Verizon. According to a leading independent test of 108 top cities in the country, Verizon won the most consistently fast speeds in 90 cities.
Jamie Foxx here for Sprint, also just as fast.
You're not fooling nobody with this.
How many cities did Sprint win?
4. And in 55 cities, Sprint was dead last.
I feel like we're faster.
I feel like you should read the chart.
Don't get fooled by cut-rate networks. Get the best. And now get up to 4 free Samsung Galaxy phones, 4 lines, and 16 gigs for just $150. Only on Verizon.
We are the Coors Brewing Company. And our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
To thrive in an ever-changing environment, companies must adapt. But one thing should remain constant: a financial relationship with someone that understands and cares about your business. PNC Corporate and Institutional Banking offers strategies tailored to your company's needs. Know that our dedicated teams of local experts offer insight to help you achieve your business objectives. See how working with PNC can help your company grow at pnc.com/ideas.
Welcome to Honda.
Thank you.
Head over heels, where should I go? Can't stop myself, out of control. Head over heels, no time to think. Looks like the whole world's out of sync.
So you like it?
I do.
Now is the moment to get the Honda CR-V you love, the best-selling SUV in America, at the Honda Summer Clearance Event, going on now.
Cubs fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card available only at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. All right, Cubs win 6-1. Time for our Blue Cross Blue Shield key to the game. Take it away, Holly time.
All right, numbers don't lie, plain and simple. Listen, Jimmy Nelson had his struggles going into the night, had lost his last 5 starts, 1-9 over his last, I believe, 13. Yeah, things weren't good. Pulled a quote from the Milwaukee newspaper, which I thought just kind of set this up, and if I was a Cub, I was kind of jumping all over it. I'm definitely feeling every negative emotion you can think of right now. That was Jimmy Nelson going into the night's start. So, you know, again, that's pounce, and you got to see the Cubs do it just then at the beginning of this ball game when he was struggling, couldn't find the strike zone. Then he did find the strike zone. They were ready to jump. That's exactly what you do when you kind of smell it and you know a guy's going through it. You want to get on him early, and they did. So great job with that. Nelson did survive 5 innings, which I thought was actually pretty commendable. But again, the Cubs got to him early.
All right, quickly, pitching matchup for tomorrow's series finale. Jake Arrieta goes against Zach Davies. Davies a 9-5 record, a solid 3.80 ERA. Meanwhile, after a rough July where he was winless, Jake back on track, 2-0, allowing just 1 run in 2 appearances in the month of August. All right, Cubs look for the sweep. Magic number is down to 31.
Really?
Crazy.
We're already there.
There you go. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks for watching Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Holly and I sticking around. We'll hear from the winning pitcher, John Lester, and more on the Cubs win. Sportsnet Central next with Christopher and Luke.
Welcome to Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC. Alongside Chris Bowden, I'm Luke Stuckmeyer.
Cubs offense jumps all over Milwaukee from the jump.
Pat Hollingsworth goes into extras to break down the game. Plus, we'll head into the clubhouse for more player reaction.
Bad news for John Lackey, plus who you can expect to see tomorrow night for the Bears.
And the latest on the Blackhawks' pursuit of a college free agent phenom. Avengers assemble on Sportsnet Central right now.
To Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC.
That's twice now. It was unbelievable. I remember the last one like it was yesterday, and that one was even better.
Along the right field line. Rizzo on the left. He's got it.
I was impressed at his, balance beam abilities.
I was hoping for at least a 9.5 from the Luxembourg judge.
Oh, what a play! We got the tarp catch. Now we got the ledge catch.
He may not look like a great athlete, but he is a great athlete. I love you, Riz.
Give him a gold glove right now.
Anthony Rizzo's ledge catch last night got a perfect score from all the judges at Wrigley, and it capped off a day-night doubleheader sweep for the Brewers. Back at it tonight right here on CSN. Cubs wasting no time, giving the fans something to cheer about. Bottom of the first, Dexter Fowler leads off with a walk. Chris Bryant follows by getting hit by the pitch. After Rizzo popped up, Ben Zobrist shoots one through the right side. Fowler coming around to score. The throw home, not in time, and it's 1-0 Cubs, but they weren't done. Addison Russell flips it into right field. Bryant scores easily. It's a 2-0 game, and then Jorge Soler showing some serious power. Apparently, he ate his Soleros for breakfast. 9th of the season, 450 feet estimated on that one. Bottom of the third, Grandpa Rossi gets in on the action. Deep to left and out. That's his 8th of the season, and it's 6-0. John Lester found himself in cruise control after all that run support. Strikes out Chris Carter in the 4th. In the 5th, Martin Maldonado goes down looking, followed by Jimmy Nelson down on strikes. Lester went 6 2/3 innings, giving up just 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 7, and a standing ovation. Top of the 9th, 6-1, Travis Wood gets Scooter Gennett to ground to first. May get 3 in a row for the Cubs. They win it 6-1 right here on CSN. Cubs now a season-high 33 games over the 500 mark. That's the most they've been over 500 since the end of the 2008 season. They have the best record in baseball. The magic number for clinching now 31. And over the last 3 games, Cubs starting pitchers have allowed just 1 run over 18 2/3 innings. Right now, let's send it over to Studio C and our fist-pumping post-game live crew.
Thank you, Lucas. Holly, big night from the Cubs in the first inning. Jorge Soler was locked in, and holy smokes, did he get all of that one.
Well, more of what we've seen from him since his return from the disabled list. Great to see. Great swing of the bat right there. Now, listen, Jimmy Nelson was struggling coming into this start, struggling with his command. We saw it early in the ballgame. You know, he hits Bryant, wild to Dexter Fowler, easy takes. So what you end up doing is keyholing. It's what you want to do as a hitter, and Jorge Soler does right there. That 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Listen, Jimmy Nelson's got a good power sinker, but you didn't see it right there. See how that ball's spinning, and it's got no movement down in the zone late? This gets squared up and just absolutely deposited in the left center field seats. What a great swing of the bat right there. That's what you want to see from Soler. When he earns the pitch, you make him pay for the pitch, and that's just it. He earned it right there, earned that fastball, and made him pay. Big swing in the ballgame.
There's nothing better than the shot where you see the fans behind home plate, and they stand and put their hands in the air.
No doubter.
All right, John Lester continues the Cubs stretch of great starts. They have been magnificent since the All-Star break. John was really good tonight. He was a little erratic. He got into some deep counts, but nobody ever really put any good wood on him.
Well, he had some good movement. I thought he was kind of struggling with Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire. I mean, the low strike zone was kind of debatable tonight as you watch the game go on. At one time, I was watching one hitter. You know, he threw one pitch. It was a ball. Same pitch, same spot. It was called a strike. So I think there was some confusion down there. But I thought John Lester did a fantastic job moving the ball around the strike zone. Listen, this is a Brewers lineup that's missing some hitters. Braun wasn't in there. Lucroy's been traded. Carter's the big power threat. Villar's a good good hitter, but this is a different Brewers team. You want to be aggressive. What was important tonight, don't make trouble for yourself. And other than that second inning, John Lester did just that, 118 pitches. Yeah, that's a little bit of a big number for 6 2/3. He was trying to get that last out there in the 7th, ended up walking the one hitter. But again, I thought all in all, a good, strong performance with a lead. Again, pitching with a lead, not always the easiest thing to do. You know, a lot of everybody's like, oh, I'll just groove it in there. No, you got to go out there and pitch your ball game and live on the corners as best you can. So I thought he did an outstanding job, staked to that early lead.
All right, let's talk. Let's hear from John Lester. He spoke to the media just a couple of moments ago.
Yeah, it wasn't. It seemed like the middle counts kind of really got me for some reason. I don't know what. You know, they did a good job too of fouling some pitches off when we did get 2 strikes, making me work and having good at bats. So you know, really made me grind. I knew we had to get somewhat deep into the game and give our bullpen a break. Would have liked to have gotten that last out. That would have been a lot. Felt a lot better about that outing than I do now. But biggest thing is we won, so that's all that matters.
All things considered, it's nice, especially when you get that big lead early, just to go about business after the first.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it before. I'm sure other guys have said it. I mean, you get 5 runs after the bottom of the first. It's, you know, it definitely not necessarily change your game plan, but it just kind of relaxes you. You don't have to grind as much, and then I proceed to go out and get the bases loaded and, you know, grind. So, you know, yeah. I mean, the offense has been really good for us, consistent. You know, it makes our lives as pitchers a lot easier when they're consistent and doing what they've been doing pretty much the whole year for us. So, you know, we just kind of go about our business after what they do.
John, that was a pretty loud ovation when you walked off the mound. What does it do for you on the inside?
It's nice. I mean, and you know, I don't ever take any of that stuff for granted, but I don't particularly like getting taken out in the middle of innings. It's just, you know, it's always nice, and you know, I'm sure we, as a staff, we all do appreciate it, and I definitely do. But you know, I'm more pissed off than anything that I couldn't finish that inning, and the fans have been great. I mean, they've been great all year to us, and you know, we try to go out there every night and put up a good product and try to win, and you know, they've given us the energy and the life every night to go out and play for them and try to win this thing.
You really think that... All right, so there's John Lester as he finished up meeting with the media. Let's talk about Carl Edwards Jr. Last week, he comes in against the Anaheim Angels, and he faces Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, and Drelton Simmons, right, with second and third, nobody out.
Big moment.
He gives up one inherited runner on a ground out by Pujols, but nothing else.
Breaks out Trout.
And everyone, including us, we named the player of the game, says, boy, that's the biggest night of your young career. Then he comes in on Saturday, and the Cardinals are down, or had tied it at 2.
Right.
He gives up 5 runs in the 8th, and he said, that's the worst night of my young big league career. Right. This was his first time on the mound since then. What was your take?
That was good to see. I mean, that's just it. I mean, again, you know, Carl, he's got a live arm. He's got a great slider. And listen, this kid's going to get a lot of responsibility as time goes on. What you wanted to see tonight is exactly what you saw. He got 4 outs, 4 big outs, did strike a guy out, did give up a base hit to the first guy he faced, but got past all that. I wanted to make sure, at least in my eyes, that he wasn't walking guys, that he got himself back into the zone, fell behind, I think 1 or 2 hitters, worked back into the count. Good to see. I mean, again, sometimes that's not the easiest thing to do. Again, you know, all the praise that we threw on him, how big that game was for him going through the middle of that Angels lineup, to what happened in the Cardinals series, to getting back out on the mound and doing what you do best. I know it wasn't high leverage tonight, but again, an important inning and a third for Carl Edwards tonight, and good to see him back out there because they're going to be leaning on him. I think he's going to get some big outs for him down the stretch.
All right, you have a great night. All right, you can see the finale of the series tomorrow afternoon, 12:30 pregame. It'll be Luke Stuckmeyer and Todd Hollandsworth, and then Len and JD with the call. Cubs win 6-1. Magic number down to 31, and they're 33 games over the 500 mark. For Todd Hollandsworth, our great crew, I'm David Kaplan. Let's go back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. Check out the Cubs starting rotation this month. They improved to 11-0 after Lester's outing tonight with a 1.13 earned run average. Tom Brady's also excellent. Pitching is the main reason they have the best record in baseball. Time for our Ink and Law injury report. The Cubs have decided to skip John Lackey for his next start. That would have been on Saturday. Instead, Trevor Cahill's going to get the ball again after throwing 5 shutout innings yesterday. Lackey had stiffness in his throwing shoulder, and the Cubs still have not ruled out the possibility of possibly placing him on the disabled list. All right, Tommy La Stella finally accepted his assignment to the minor leagues. La Stella reported to AA Tennessee. He was optioned to Iowa last month, but never reported, saying that he only wanted to play for the Cubs. Now he's hoping for a September call-up and, who knows, maybe a spot on the playoff roster.
The White Sox had lost their last 7 matchups with the first-place Indians, but after the teams combined for just 4 runs last night, they combined for much more in an Anthony Renato-Carlos Carrasco mound matchup tonight. We begin tied in the 5th inning at 5. Michael Yanoa on in relief for the Sox and a strike away from getting out of a jam, but Brandon Guyer spoils that moment. The Bloop knock the other way. Pair of runs would score. Cleveland takes a 7-5 lead, and that score would hold into the 9th. Indians closer, Cody Allen out onto the pen for the save, but he's in a bases-loaded mess. 1 out for Dioner Navarro, who skies one into shallow left. Jose Ramirez coming on, can't get there in time. An RBI single for Navarro makes it a 7-6 game. Next up, Adam Eaton. Sacks still packed, and Allen hangs one, and Eaton takes him into the seats and right. His first career grand slam. The White Sox rally for a high 5 in the 9th, completing a thrilling 10-7 comeback victory, and David Robertson was even able to close things out this time. Our Bears training camp coverage is presented by Apt Electronics, Appliances, and more. At last, peace on the practice fields of Foxborough between John Fox's Bears and the Patriots, but there was a legitimate reason why it was different than the first 2 days of workout. Teams just going through a walkthrough without pads before things get ramped up again in their second preseason games tomorrow night. Camp has already seen a revolving door of Bears in and out of uniform. WGN Radio's Adam Hogue has the latest on who might and might not suit up.
Well, I'm guessing at least when it comes to Miller and other guys that are running around in the red no-contact jerseys this week, like Kadeem Carey, who's coming off a concussion as well, Eddie Royal, who still doesn't really seem to be doing much. I just don't know that they're in a position where the doctors are going to let them play. With Alshon last week, I got the feeling that, you know, John Fox held to what he usually says, and as soon as the doctor's clearing you, you're ready to go. I think was up to Alshon whether or not he wanted to go, and he made it clear that he did. So I think that was a little bit of a special circumstance last week.
He could be Curtis Johnson, his receivers coach.
Well, he might be suspended for the first 4 regular season games as a result of Deflategate, but there's no question quarterback Tom Brady remains the main attraction of Patriots camp, even while trying to get understudy Jimmy Garoppolo ready to play in his place. Now, he spent some time with Bears counterparts Jay Cutler and Brian Hoyer today. The latter spending his first 3 NFL seasons backing up Brady from 2009 to 2011.
Tom, you know, from day one, when he came and introduced himself, I said, "Hey, I'm Tom." Like, kind of, I knew that already, but that's just kind of the way he is. He's so humble and a great guy, and to be able to stay in touch, you know, he's always been one of the first guys to text me after a game, or whether it was a good, bad, or ugly, or whatever it was. So it's a friendship that I have really cherished over the years. You know, I remember those years just trying to sit back and watch and soak up everything, whether it was in the meeting room, on the field, you know, training, whatever it might be. He's such an intense competitor, and if you can just soak it all up, you know, you just kind of gain it by being around him.
So we gave you a sneak peek of this a little while ago. Since Brady entered the league 16 years ago, a look at how Bears quarterbacks have stacked up in comparison. They've had 21 different signal callers going all the way back to the great Cade McNown. And the numbers show there's a lot to be said for continuity and talent. Brady's passer rating 20 points higher than the Bears collection, while he has 278 more touchdowns than interceptions compared to just a plus 35 ratio for the Monsters men behind center.
We are only a few weeks away from the start of the college football season. Notre Dame has a difficult choice to make at quarterback, and Brian Kelly today provides an answer, sort of. And we're going to check in on the Rio Olympic Games. Jimmy Butler and Team USA taking on Argentina. Manu Ginobili in the quarterfinals. Plus, Jimmy Vesey, the most prized free agent in the NHL right now, and the Blackhawks made their pitch today.
Bears training camp coverage is presented by Apt. Appliances, electronics, and more. Pleasing people since 1936.
Sportsnet Central on Comcast Sportsnet is presented to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Hey, honey. You remember to lock the Buick, right?
Of course I do. I'll never forget that.
The My Buick app, now available in every Buick.
You closed all the apartment windows, too.
Come on. Really?
You're the best.
Now get cash back for up to 16% of the MSRP on these select 2016 Buick vehicles. That's over $3,500 cash back on this Buick Encore.
With a curved ultra-high-definition screen, Samsung's SUHD TVs give you a brighter picture and the most brilliant colors for the best viewing experience. It's Samsung's best TV, and it's here at Apt Electronics. Available in screen sizes from 48 to 88 inches. Come see it today. Guaranteed low prices, unbeatable selection, and free local delivery. Apt. Pleasing people since 1936.
Tomorrow, the homestand is almost over, but first, the boys in blue have some business to settle with Milwaukee. Two Central Division rivals, one great matchup. Cubs versus Brewers, tomorrow at 12:30 on CSN.
Starbucks Double Shot Coffee and Protein. With the lift of real brewed Starbucks coffee, plus the power of 20 grams of protein, it's all you need to do even more. Starbucks Double Shot, real life energy.
For true Chicagoans, the White Sox are a part of our DNA. From Hyde Park to Park Ridge, we wear our hearts on our pinstripe jersey sleeves. From 79th through Bridgeport, from Bronzeville to Naperville, we're loyal to the team through thick and thin. We come from all walks of life and neighborhoods, but remain united by what takes place at 35th and Shields. We take pride in our city, and we take pride in the game.
It's a golden opportunity to discover the power of the human hand, the ability of a Lexus Master Craftsman to turn an ordinary experience into an extraordinary one. For a limited time, get some of the best offers of the year on our most refined vehicles at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Lease the 2016 ES350 with zero due at signing for $419 a month for 36 months, and we'll make your first month's payment. See your Lexus dealer.
Back to school, presented by Command Brand. Notre Dame coach Brian Kelly definitely has a quarterback battle on his hands in training camp. Deshaun Kaiser did a great job taking over for injured starter Malik Zaire a year ago. Both players capable of carrying the ball as well as throwing it. Well, if history is any indication, trying to play two quarterbacks on a regular basis, generally not a good plan for team success. The Irish don't have any margin for error either, with their typically demanding schedule starting September 4th at Texas. Still, Kelly willing to take the quarterback competition into the season opener.
They both have been outstanding. They both make plays. They're both playmakers. You know, we would just continue to practice and continue to see both of these guys make plays. So we're going to play both of them at Texas.
Does this not bother you to play two?
It doesn't bother me to play two going into the Texas game, and then we'll see what happens the next week against Nevada. I'm focused strictly on how we beat Texas, and we're best prepared to beat Texas by playing both Deshaun and Malik.
Now to what's going on in Rio. In a dozen years removed from the stunning upset by Argentina in the semifinals of the Athens Olympics, Team USA men's hoop squad was causing many to wonder if they were ripe for another. Sure, they were 4-0, but the last three had been surprisingly close. And wouldn't you know it, Manu Ginobili, Andres Nocioni, and Argentina awaited in the quarterfinals in Rio. And even a tune-up between these teams was a 37-point margin by the U.S. last month in Las Vegas. Revenge early on off the steal. Argentina running. It's Noche or Chapu dropping in a three. USA down 19-9. Then this happened.
Durant from downtown. Yes. The steal by George. George all the way. Durant open for three. Yes. Oh, he was on fire. Cousins working down low and scoring. Durant again. Picked off by Butler. Butler on the run. Yes, with a foul.
A 27-2 U.S. run takes care of business. Jimmy Butler with 7 points. Kevin Durant led everyone with 27 in Ginobili's Olympic farewell. 105-78 United States win. They'll play Spain, the team they defeated for gold in Beijing and London, coming up in the semifinals.
Fastest man in the world, Jamaica's
Well,
Usain
until you
Bolt.
decided not to.
Yeah, no, that's true. 200-meter semifinal. Bolt going for 3 consecutive golds in the event. Not challenged in the first 150 meters. Canada's Andre DeGrasse almost catches him. Ooh, look at these two having a good time at the finish line. Bolt kind of looking over, come on, man, you're not really going to catch me. Bolt races for his 8th Olympic gold medal coming up tomorrow night.
Sports Business Insider presented by Elk Grove Village. Makers wanted with some Blackhawks free agency news. Here's Pat Boyle.
This guy right here, the most sought-after free agent out of college by NHL teams, Jimmy Vesey. He was the captain of his Harvard team. He won the Hobey Baker last season, which is basically the Heisman Trophy of hockey. They're believed to be now 7 teams in the Vesey sweepstakes. You got the Sabres, the Leafs, the Islanders, Devils, Bruins, Rangers, and Hawks. On Wednesday, he was set to meet with the Rangers, also Stan Bowman and the Blackhawks, and then the hometown Bruins were going to make the last pitch. And I asked Scott Powers from the Athletic Chicago how the Blackhawks pitch may have gone.
The Blackhawks have had pretty good success in selling players. They sold to Panarin, they sold to Trevor Van Riemsdyk, Michael Kempney this past year. A lot of free agents have gotten this pitch, and a lot of them like it. It's a success, and it's also about opportunity. And I think the Blackhawks, since they traded Saad and Sharp, they really haven't had that top-line left winger. They had that kind of temporary fix Andrew Ladd last year, but they're selling opportunity and playing in the top line and playing with Taves, and then also selling what they've been as a franchise, and I hope to continue to be in, for years to come.
Back with our plays of the day and reaction from David Ross after the Cubs' blowout win over the Brewers.
With a curved ultra-high-definition screen, Samsung's SUHD TVs give you a brighter picture and the most brilliant colors for the best viewing experience. It's Samsung's best TV, and it's here at Apt Electronics. Available in screen sizes from 48 to 88 inches. Come see it today. Guaranteed low prices, unbeatable selection, and free local delivery. Apt. Pleasing people since 1936.
What's the key to business success? Stay on your toes and keep moving. Whether you're launching a new product or fighting off hackers, business has to be ready for anything. And your IT needs to support it. Forsyth Technology, together with leading partners like Cisco and Red Hat and technology supported by Intel, will help you get ready and stay ready by leveraging the power of the cloud without compromising security and control, giving your business a lasting competitive advantage.
Everyone has got a dream. You know what I mean?
Hey, is this our turn? Honey, our turn?
Yeah, we go left right here.
Great adventures are still out there. We'll find them in our Subaru Outback.
Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Get 0% on select Subaru models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, now through August 31st.
Tomorrow, the homestand is almost over, but first, the boys in blue have some business to settle with Milwaukee. Two Central Division rivals, one great matchup. Cubs versus Brewers, tomorrow at 12:30 on CSN.
As the pennant races heat up, quench your baseball thirst by watching Bases Loaded on CSN. Join host Layla Rahimi for a half hour of Cubs and Sox talk, including team-by-team analysis, features, and more. Don't miss Bases Loaded, Saturday at 6:30 on CSN.
Friday night at 7. Come on out and enjoy great baseball as our own Kelly Crow hosts a Coors Light viewing party at City Tap in Norridge. Watch your Central Division leaders battle Colorado and enjoy ice-cold Coors Light. Great beer equals great responsibility.
You really sold that. Our GMC professional grade player of the night, Jorge Soler, as teammates call him George. He went 2 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBI, and a 6-1 win. And in the 10 games since he has returned from the disabled list, Soler hitting .379 with 4 home runs. Here's David Ross on Soler's impact to the Cubs lineup.
When George is swinging well, he's a huge part of this team, and you know, he's a presence. I mean, with the power he has, and in the lineup, how well he hits lefties, and he's hitting righties, and you know, just not missing the ball. You can tell he's locked in, and it's fun. You know, it's fun. It just makes our lineup that much deeper. You know, when he was out, it just, you know, when you're from a catcher standpoint, you see that the lineup shortening. You know, once you get past a certain guy, then it's a little easier to navigate the lineup. When George in there, it just makes it really a deep, long lineup.
Braves today are presented by Lexus. Number 3 takes us to Houston for Cardinals and Astros. A man on first, Steven Piscotty grounds one up the middle. Check out the flip and relay throw between Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve. Smooth transition between the men in the middle of that infield, but St. Louis goes on to win this game, however, by a final of 8-2.
Number 2, Padres-Rays, home half of the 4th. It's Mikey Matuk. Thinks he has a line drive single, but Ryan Schimpf not going to let that happen. Diving full extension on that catch. Rays blank the Padres 2-0.
Hey, Mikey, he doesn't like that one. Number 1, Sox-Indians, 9th inning, down 1. Bases loaded for Adam Eaton and Spanky with reservations for 4. First career grand slam coming off Cody Allen, Eaton the big blow in the White Sox 5-run ninth to complete a 10-7 comeback victory. That's a wrap for this edition of Sports at Central, presented by GMC. Luke and I thank you for watching.
Double S, Sierra Santos, back here at midnight. See you then.
A well-put-together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is the precision of professional grade. Step up to GMC and get cash back for up to 16% of the MSRP on these select 2016 GMC vehicles. That's over $8,400 cash back on this Yukon Denali.
Everything you know about TVs has changed. The breakthrough technology found in LG's new 4K OLED TVs produces bolder colors and more intense blacks to create a picture so vivid it defies description. Combined with a sleek, ultra-thin design, they're nothing like you've ever seen. Come experience this revolution in television technology at Apt Electronics. Guaranteed low prices, great selection, and free local delivery. Apt. Pleasing people since 1936.
Excuse me. I think there's a misprint.
Oh, model year-end clearance event. Looks right to me.
Shouldn't it be clear?
Clearly, it is time to get a great deal and a reward card on this turbocharged Jetta. Got to make room for the 2017 models. It is a clearance event. Why is that so hard for people to understand? Seems clear to me. Clear to me. Ready for a test drive?
Whatever you want to call it, don't miss the Volkswagen Model Year-End event. Hurry in and lease the 2016 Jetta S for $149 a month after a $1,000 bonus.
From the first building block to the last coat of paint, Menards is here to help. Get an 11% rebate on everything in the store, including thousands of sale items. Whatever you're creating, you'll save 11% on everything you need, so you can finish your latest project and start planning the next big thing. Get building with an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices now at Menards. Good through August 20th. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
For 20 years, Box Tops for Education has helped schools earn over $750 million to get what they need. Families at Queen of Angels School in Chicago collected box tops to help purchase library books. Don't be absent from helping your local school. Buy 10 participating box tops for education items and get 16 bonus box tops when you shop today at Jewel. Offer valid 8/1 to 9/1/16. Must be registered with growinglocallearning.com. See website for details.
Ross, great to have you back. Now, yesterday we were talking about one of your favorite all-time football movies, nay, all-time movies.
Yes.
The Program.
Correct.
James Caan is the head coach of Eastern something?
ESU.
ESU.
Yes.
Eastern State.
It ain't a very tough schedule, by the way.
Brutal.
Every week they were playing like Michigan, Notre Dame, a tough non-conference schedule at ESU.
Now, here's the topic. If you could have a role in the movie, I'm going to throw it to everyone, but you, Ross, which role would you want in the movie The Program? You could be Latimer, the steroid-riddled defensive end.
Yeah.
You could have Joe Kane, the troubled Heisman Trophy possibly winning quarterback. Alvin Mack, All-American linebacker who has his knee broken 8 different places.
Right.
And career ended. But the right answer and the only answer is Darnell Jefferson, rookie freshman running back, who gets to date his tutor, Halle Berry.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Is this the easiest choice of all time?
Darnell, ESU. We just want to welcome you. Darnell, ESU.
You are traveling through another dimension, a dimension of sight and sound.
Nice.
An NFL journeyman whose boundaries are that of imagination.
Nice.
Your next stop, the Tucker Zone.
Is Rio the same time zone? Is it Eastern time zone?
1 hour later.
It's 1 hour before.
1 hour ahead of us.
Right. That's interesting.
Which would be 1 hour later and ahead, all at the same time.
As opposed to behind.
Well, 1 hour later is not the right way to describe that.
The English language can be just a maze of contradictions.
Earlier would be before something.
Earlier.
Later is almost always after.
If it was an hour later from right now, what time would it be? Boom.
And how you can be later and ahead at the same time is baffling.
So how are you behind and later?
Welcome to what I believe is the Wednesday edition of the Dan Patrick Show.
This might be a dumb question, but is Rio the same time zone? Is it Eastern time zone?
1 hour later.
Okay, then yes. Dan is in Rio in the future, I believe.
So it's Central or it's 1 hour before?
1 hour ahead of us.
Right.
Wait, so then if Dan's ahead of us, but I'm recording this now, how will Dan ever hear it?
That's interesting.
Greetings, Dan of the future!
Which would be 1 hour later and ahead, all at the same time.
As opposed to behind.
Send back sports results so we can bet on them and become millionaires wherever it's later.
Later is not the right way to describe that.
You went Jared Goff on us there a little bit.
No.
Pull up.
Wait.
Pull up.
See, don't kill the fight. No!
Boom.
No! Dan's still in the future. Have you not seen Butterfly Effect? Here we are until we run out of whatever time we had left, Seton.
You're a jerk.
It's Ross Tucker on the Dan Patrick Show.
Yeah, I don't think we ever quite figured out yesterday whether or not saying Rio is an hour later is the appropriate way to describe it. I think hour ahead or behind is probably the correct nomenclature when we're talking about time. Later can make it very confusing. What's not confusing is what's going to happen over the next 3 hours. I'm going to be sitting in for Dan one last time this week. We will hear from the boss in hour number 2. Most of you know this by now if you're a loyal listener. But Ross Tucker, once again, sitting in the big chair. I played 7 years in the NFL. Now I do a bunch of different media gigs, including filling in for Dan as often as they'll have me because he has an unbelievable audience, which is you guys. And I'll get into how you can be a part of it a little bit later. Going to have George Atala The executive director for the NFLPA, a little bit later, he's got a longer title than that, but that's the start of his title. And then it gets into like external affairs, and I don't know. If your title is more than 3 words, I'm just going with the first 3 words. I just decided. For anybody out there that cares. Dan will be hour number 2. Hour number 3, I've been giddy ever since I found out that Andrew Bryniarski, who's the actor Latimer in the program, he's also in Any Given Sunday, Necessary Roughness, Higher Calling. He will be calling us in the final hour. So that is like, as I said on Twitter yesterday, that is like bucket list item checked. Paulie.
If there's a hokey football movie, this guy's in it.
Why? If by hokey you mean awesome,
hokey,
yeah.
Yeah, hokey, I guess.
If hokey's another word for unbelievable, yes. A hokey football movie would be like, wouldn't you say Rudy's kind of a hokey?
Whoa. First of all, that's a documentary.
Yeah, more of a true story.
I love Rudy.
Well, yeah.
But there are people that look at it and would say that that's hokey. How could you say the program's hokey?
The program felt a little hokey with all the, it felt like a caricature of a big-time college sports program.
So,
like, Necessary Roughness is really, really hokey and purposeful on purpose.
This is the second word in as many days that you used that I've never used the word hokey before. And think about that. There's a perennial top 20 college program that is considered hokey. The Virginia Tech Hokies.
Right.
How do you think they feel about the fact that you can justify it that way, the way you just said that those movies are hokey? They're a whole team full of hokey dudes.
Is the program a great football movie? For those who don't remember, what's the synopsis?
The synopsis is it's the underbelly of big-time college athletics with the issues. It was ESU was the name of the school. James Caan was the head coach. Darnell Jefferson, a.k.a. Omar Epps, was the true freshman running back from Philly from a rough background. Basically take any stereotype you could possibly find for any issues that a college football program would have with recruiting and boosters. And, of course, the coach's daughter dates the backup quarterback and does his homework for him or takes a test for him. Throw them all in there, and they're in there. Speaking of...
Sonny Corleone was the head coach.
Yes. I mean, that was a good comeback for him after he died in The Godfather to come back and be a college football head coach. Not an easy job to get, especially from beyond the grave. So there's a bunch of things to get into there. I'm looking forward to talking to George Atala, though, because a major issue in the National Football League is the NFL dropping the hammer on Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, James Harrison. I mean, these are name brand good players. These are not Ross Tucker types we're talking about. I mean, these are legit difference-making players. So we'll find out what the NFLPA and what these players are going to do about it. Talk or you're suspended is essentially what the NFL has said. We'll find out what advice they're getting from the NFLPA and George Atala when we return. 16 minutes past the hour. This is the Dan Patrick Show.
Backed by popular demand, Friday's Endless Apps.
The people have spoken.
You wanted endless choice of endless apps for just $10?
You got them.
For a limited time, endless choice of endless apps, $10.
Not Fridays.
Tomorrow, the homestand is almost over. But first, the boys in blue have some business to settle with Milwaukee. 2 Central Division rivals, 1 great matchup. Cubs versus Brewers, tomorrow at 12:30 on CSN.
Apt. Chicagoland's #1 shopping destination has everything you need for the perfect home. We carry the largest selection of HD and Ultra HD televisions for the best picture. Create an incredible home audio experience with the finest brands and have Apt's custom installers bring the entire experience to life. You just sit back and enjoy. For a better experience, professional installation, and of course, free delivery. Apt. Pleasing people since 1936.
Just a young one, maybe pushing 10. Somebody told me no, son, and I decided then I'm gonna dig my style.
Go inside the lives of Chicago's biggest sports stars, only on Inside Look, presented by Cadillac. Your questions answered.
In this business, you want to compete for championships.
Idols revisited.
They've supported this organization for so many years.
And the stories behind the headlines revealed.
It's a special journey, and it's a great story.
Catch a new interview every month with Inside Look on Comcast Sportsnet. Visit csnchicago.com for listings.
We all know that Jake's our ace, but in April, he was much more than that. He was unhittable.
Swing and a miss. 3 outs away.
And our offense was unstoppable.
Grand slam time. 13-0.
But on that night, it was all about Arrieta.
It's a no-hitter. Jake Arrieta has done it again. Wow, that was fun.
So we talked about this quite a bit on yesterday's show after the NFL sent a strongly worded letter to the NFLPA. Basically, the gist of it is, if Julius Peppers, Clay Matthews, James Harrison, and Mike Neal do not talk to us by August 25th, they will be suspended as of August 26th. I think all of these players have been taking their cues from the NFLPA, which is why really happy to be joined by George Atala. Very good at what he does. He's the NFLPA Assistant Executive Director of External Affairs. He does a lot of their media stuff. George, always appreciate your time. I guess I'll just start with what's the NFLPA's official position on this letter from Adolfo Birch and the NFL?
Good morning to you, Ross, and I wish we were both at Copacabana Beach with Dan at the moment, but, certainly we were a little bit taken aback with the tone of that letter. Certainly there are areas that we can choose to disagree with the league. We have a lot of respect for the game. Our players have a lot of respect for what they do as professionals. But, I think that letter in particular crossed the line of what is professional conduct as it relates to dealing with your players. And, we've always taken the position that the NFL needs to step up and provide any evidence that they have beyond just a report that has now been recanted or was immediately recanted. And they haven't done that yet. So for them to make a mountain out of this molehill is unfortunate and it's disappointing. But ultimately, it's our job to represent our players, and that's what we'll do.
So, George, just for the people that are just hopping in on this thing, basically, the NFLPA agrees that if there's credible evidence in terms of a violation, then their players should sit for the interview. You're saying, and the players have contended, that there is not credible evidence, whereas the league is saying, in their opinion, there is credible evidence. Is that really what this is coming down to?
I think that's a pretty good explanation. So when the report first came out, I guess it was in December, there were all these names dropped in that report. And, the most notable one, obviously, was Peyton Manning. These 4 players were named in some way by a gentleman named Charlie Sly. As soon as that report was public, he came out and recanted everything. And the NFL has contended that based on that sole piece of evidence, as far as we know, that the players need to submit to not only an investigation, but an interview and all sorts of other things. We don't believe that is outlined in the CBA. Now, ultimately, when you are in a position like we are now, we're going to support the players in whatever they decide to do.
Is the NFLPA and the NFL in talks to try to work something out here?
That's a great question. We would love to have been in discussions to try to have this thing resolved months ago. That has not been the case. Look, Ross, this is not our first go-around with this regime in the league office. They did the same exact thing, if you remember, in Bounty. They did the same exact thing when they violated the CBA with Ray Rice. Now, clearly they happen to have gotten a couple of court cases go in their favor recently, but that doesn't mean that the law is a good substitute for professionalism and a level of behavior that is deemed, to respect the players of the National Football League. That's just who they are. This is what the job is, and we will stand up for our players no matter what.
So 2 questions if the players decide they're not going to interview. I guess number one would be, what does the NFLPA do then? Do you file some sort of legal injunction or something that I'm glad I didn't go to law school for? Or do you pay the players money? Do you pay the players money that they're missing out on if they're suspended?
Well, there are certainly legal options if the players decide that they do not want to sit down for the interview. Ross, you and I have talked a number of times. I'm not a lawyer. We have a very capable internal and external legal counsel whose job it is to worry about those things. I think there are certainly recourses that we can take to protect their rights if they don't want to do that. Again, our advice to the players has always been, these are your rights. Know what they are. You do not have to sit down for this because the drug policies do not call for a submission of interviews if there isn't any credible evidence. And if you decide to go through with it, great. If you decide not to, we're always up for a fight.
Last question, George, and this one's totally off topic, but we're going to talk about Marcell Dareus a little bit and his suspension. Okay. Does the NFLPA have an official position on marijuana testing in the league?
Yeah, the official position is that we have a collectively bargained drug policy that still maintains it's a banned substance. Certainly we made some progressive changes in 2014 when we signed the new drug policies that, elevated the number of nanograms and offenses that you needed in order to get suspended. But our focus as a union is more on the medical usage and the scientific usage going forward.
George, really appreciate the time. Thanks for coming aboard this morning.
My pleasure, and hope to talk to you soon.
There he is, George Atala. He is the NFLPA Assistant Executive Director of External Affairs.
The new 2016 Lexus RX is a sight for sore eyes.
Get to Lexus of Arlington during the Golden Opportunity Sales Event and drive yours home today.
At Lexus of Arlington, get 0.9% for 72 months on the most popular Lexus models.
Bob Rohrman.
The all-new Bob Rohrman Lexus of Arlington on the corner of Route 53 and Dundee Road.
Esurance does auto insurance a smarter way, like their photo claims tool. It helps settle your claim quickly, which saves time, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call. Esurance does insurance a smarter way, which saves money, like bundling home and auto coverage, which reduces red tape, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's home and auto insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or
When was it that it clicked in, this is me, I'm a surfer?
I'd say by the time I was 7, 8 years old, I was surfing every day. I was just trying to define myself. I realized I had this identity with something that I loved. Surfing, to me, is a spiritual thing. When I'm on the right path, I'm doing the right things, I'm treating people the right way, the right things happen back from me. I just do things that other people think are impossible, and I don't see them as impossible.
At Mike Anderson Chevrolet of Maryville, we love our customers.
And we want to help you
find the perfect vehicle.
We've got a huge selection on our giant lot with hundreds of vehicles to choose from.
Visit our showroom at I-65 and 61st Avenue. Let us help you find your next vehicle.
Hurry in and save. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on select 2016 Chevrolet models.
Visit Mike Anderson Chevrolet in Merrillville at I-65 and 61st Avenue.
Mike Anderson Chevrolet, the Chevy Giant.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you.
Call Adolescent Growth today and see how our proven treatment programs for eating disorders can begin to bring the sunshine back in the life of your teen and your family.
Please don't take my sunshine away.
One note that's important, we said we'd be tracking what's going on with Bruce Arians. According to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network via Twitter, Bruce Arians expected to be released from the hospital this morning to rejoin the team after tests last night. He's good. So the Arizona Cardinals head coach looks like he is fine, which is obviously good news. We also touched briefly on the Bills suspension of Marcell Dareus a little bit. We didn't really get too much into, the marijuana testing. I guess here's where I would stand on that. And we can debate whether or not the league should test for marijuana. And I know Paulie and Seton, you guys have thoughts on that. And I'm sure our listeners do as well at 877-3DP-SHOW or on Twitter at DP-SHOW, at Ross Tucker, NFL. But here's my question. If you're going to lose over $3 million for testing positive for marijuana, when you know you're going to be tested because you're already in the program and you already were suspended a game last year, if you know you're going to lose over $3 million and you still test positive, does that person have a problem, or is that person an idiot? Or is that person an idiot with a problem? Seton.
That person's problem could be chronic pain.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but that's a weak argument considering all 1,800 players in the league are in pain and they don't take something that they know they're going to be tested for.
I'm also curious, why would the NFL test for a non-performance enhancing drug?
I think it goes back to like the 80s and when guys were all hopped up on cocaine. I just don't think that. I think Major League Baseball, the NBA, NFL all had issues with cocaine, and they wanted to make sure that their players weren't all, doing street drugs and potentially being bad role models, getting in trouble, et cetera, et cetera. That's my sense. Here's a question, though. Can we just confirm, not that any of you guys are experts on this, but can you be addicted to marijuana or not? Because everybody always said you can't be. It's not an addictive drug. And then every once in a while people say, hey, maybe he has a problem. Maybe he's, addicted to it. Which one is it? I for sure, am pleading ignorance on this one. I honestly have no idea. Seton?
I'm going to say yes, but I don't know. I mean, you're not going to go robbing houses because of it.
I thought you couldn't be addicted to marijuana.
I think there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with that, or a lot of people who do agree with it.
And if you can be addicted to marijuana, and again, I don't know the answer or not, so I'm sure 1 million people are hitting us up on Twitter at DP-SHOW or at Ross Tucker NFL. But if you can get addicted to marijuana, why should we have all these states moving to legalize it? Like, if it's an addictive drug, why would you be legalizing it?
My problem is it feels almost hypocritical to just throw out, Percocet and Vicodin and all of these pills that you can just illegally get scripts for, like, yeah, but it's legal. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But marijuana, well, it's illegal. That's why this is a problem. It's way safer than Percocet, than oxys and all of that stuff. It's way safer.
Don't you feel like 10 years from now we'll be having a much different conversation?
10 years ago, we definitely were.
10 years from now, marijuana will not be tested for probably in the NFL, would be my guess. There's enough like Derek Morgan, Eugene Monroe speaking out on it. And I don't know that Vicodin and Percocet will be illegal, but I don't think that they'll be as popular, Paulie.
But how does the league get there? Because at some point they're going to have to propose no longer testing for marijuana. What will be the blowback the next day from the media if the league says we are no longer testing for marijuana? Or do they have to inch there and just make the testing so toothless that they're basically not testing for it anymore? Which, like you said,
what did you hear George Tallis said? The threshold's not what it used to be. You have to have more nanograms in your system now to test positive than before, which makes these guys testing positive seem even more ridiculous. Yes, McLovin.
You know, you brought up that point about if it's addictive, how can they make it legal? I mean, alcohol is the most addictive, you know, the most people are addicted to in this country by 50 miles, and that's legal. So I don't think that the legality. Also, by the way, I mean, as far as marijuana, there's a very popular 12-step program, Marijuana's Anonymous. So you could be addicted to a lot of things. Whether it's chemically addictive is a big debate. But it's certainly, there are people who have problems. You know, people have problems with Robitussin. That's a big addictive drug, and you get that at CVS.
Robitussin is?
Oh, yeah. You never robo-tripped? Oh, dude.
What's the thing that some guys are still doing now? Rolando McClain got suspended 10 games for still doing the
Purple Drank, right?
Purple Drank.
Yeah. I
thought Purple Drank went out when like Jamarcus Russell went out of the league. Evidently not. Evidently it's still popular.
Don't you think
is Purple Drank illegal?
The codeine in it, I don't know. I think so. Yeah, that's what he got busted for, right?
Basically, I want to know whether or not we can all try it in the final hour.
Yeah. Ross, those pills, though, the pills that you took in the NFL, did they give you a warning or like a program or like did they talk about, hey, be careful because if you start taking these, you might get hooked on them?
I don't remember them saying that, but I do remember being aware of that because of Brett Favre. I will say this, though. As an NFL player, okay, the most important thing to you is that you feel as healthy as possible for the game, right? Like, you're going to go out there, and in my case, I'm going against guys like Marcel Darius. I'm going against 345-pound monsters. So whatever's bothering me, my left elbow, my right knee, I want to feel as healthy as I possibly can, which is sort of part of the problem because if one Vicodin helps me feel a little bit better, then 2 Vicodin will help me feel even better.
Second City? This is our city, the best city in the world. In Chicago, the road to success is paved with tenacity and sweat. Work isn't a 4-letter word, it's a badge of honor. One that's been worn proudly on White Sox uniforms over the years by legends from all backgrounds and nationalities. United with their teammates and united with the fans by a bond of hard work and passion for the game. It's time to step up.
And these are the ones. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
At our house, we need things that are built to last. That's why we got a Subaru.
Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Right now, get 0% APR financing on the 2017 Subaru Legacy.
Tomorrow, the homestand is almost over, but first, the boys in blue have some business to settle with Milwaukee. 2 Central Division rivals, 1 great matchup. Cubs versus Brewers, tomorrow at 12:30 on CSN. Next Friday at 7, come out and enjoy great baseball as CSN's Kelly Kroll hosts a Coors Light viewing party at City Tap in Norwich. Watch your Central Division leaders battle Colorado and enjoy ice-cold Coors Light. Great beer equals great responsibility.
Yeah, right. One thing I've come to realize, there's no easier way to save on motorcycle insurance than switching to Geico. Saving money, that's something every rider should do.
What is that?
It's called ceviche, Gary. I learned to make it when I lived in Tonga.
Tastes like chicken.
You should get out more.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
This is not just sport. These are not just teams.
these are not merely the best clubs in England. They are the great houses of football. And they all have but one goal: lay claim to the crown. The Premier League is back on NBCSN.
This is my last day. I came in for a 3-day stint this time. I made it very clear to the guys that I am more than happy to come and fill in for Dan anytime I possibly can, because like I said out there in the last segment, these guys make it really, really easy. We are having as much fun as you think we are. I mean, I always come in with all these notes written down, all these different topics we can get into, but then a topic comes up and you start talking and you talk about something else and it just goes from there. It's pretty awesome anytime I can be a part of it. And I think part of it is because you guys are such an awesome audience, TV, radio. I guess it's just the TV people that are hearing me now, but you know what I mean. It's a blast every time. Hopefully they'll have me back during football season if Dan happens to miss any other time. All righty.
Tucker moments in DP show history.
I got a shot at Toradol before most games I played in the NFL, in my butt.
Thanks for watching. Great Ross Tucker moments in DP show history.
Celebrate the 2016 NBA champion Cleveland Cavaliers with official championship gear at NBAstore.com. Shop the entire championship collection, including locker room merchandise and much more. Get the official hat, t-shirt, and towel the Cavaliers wore during their on-court celebration. And pick up the NBA Finals DVD or download the video on iTunes and Google Play. Visit NBAstore.com/CavaliersChamps now.
Hurry into Gurney Hyundai for the best selections before they're all gone without. The breeze. Oh, I was thinking of something a little bit stronger, my dear.
Get to Gurney Hyundai right now and lease a brand new 2017 Hyundai Elantra for only $79 a month. That's right, only $79 a month.
Be sure to see us before you buy, my dear.
Bob Rohrman.
Bob Rohrman's Gurney Hyundai on Grand Avenue right across from Gurney Mills.
Xfinity presents.
Conor McGregor, the real money fight is me.
I'm just the best there is, and that's it.
Oh, what a fight!
Conor got beat.
That's it. He's got the choke.
I'm not surprised. Better step it up for this one.
Oh! Conor McGregor, he slapped him. He did. What a night, ladies and gentlemen.
Order now with your remote on Xfinity from Comcast.
What a perfect day for baseball at US Cellular Field. Here he comes. He's going to try. He's safe. And he makes the catch. He makes the catch. And ball high and deep. Stretch. You can. Put it on the ball. Yes. He gone. Yes. Yes. And this ball game is over. Boxing.
Yesterday, I was asking the guys about Rio's time zone, and Paulie said it's an hour later. Is that how you would describe it, that Rio is an hour later than the East Coast?
Well, it's right now 11:36 Rio time.
Boom. See, I think it's an hour ahead or an hour behind. Who says later to that question?
Oh, once again, the Ivy League education coming in. Okay. I'm surprised McLovin didn't say that.
Yeah, exactly. I also wanted to ask you, Dan, we saw something this morning. Was that to the Today Show, Paulie?
Yeah.
On the Today Show, Zac Efron, who's evidently the bee's knees, was talking with the gymnasts, and they went absolutely berserk. Have you run into him at all yet?
I saw him yesterday, but I didn't know if he'd already been over to see Simone Biles, because I know that she has a crush on him. So I saw him, and he was over at the broadcast center, and it was one of those where you sort of do a double take. You go, that guy looks a lot like Zac Efron. And then you go, that's Zac Efron. And then I'm thinking, if I sent a text to Paulie, but then I thought, gosh, I hope he doesn't put it out on social media, because I didn't want to ruin the moment for her. But they had this already pre-planned that they were going to be able to have him go over there and congratulate her. So it worked out, and they got their money's worth with that coverage with Zach going over there. It's pretty cool that he did it.
Any other celeb sightings, Dan, down there?
Eddie Redmayne.
I don't even know who that is.
He won an Academy Award, Ross.
Oh, nice. That sounds important.
Yeah. All I know is there were girls waiting outside this hotel because Eddie was there, and they were going crazy. So I'm trying to think. Let me see. Well, I did see Leslie Jones, the comedian. She thought I was Jim Lampley, so she said, "Why does everybody hate you?" And I said, and then she goes, "Oh my gosh, you're not Jim Lampley. You're Dan Patrick. My bad." She goes, "Well, by the way, why does everybody hate Jim Lampley?" And I go, "I have no idea." So that's about it. That's my big sighting was I was confused with Jim Lampley. So
nice. Last night, our women's beach volleyball team lost. Ross and Carrie Walsh-Jennings, they lost. And obviously, we all want the American teams to do well. We want them to win. But personally, Dan, I watch all these events. It's like, okay, Usain Bolt's going to win this. Phelps will win this. Ledecky wins this. Simone Biles wins this. The upsets actually make it a little bit more interesting to me, because it feels like so often, even like the 110 hurdles last night, they tell you who's supposed to win. He wins. I mean, isn't there something refreshing or makes it more interesting when we actually have some upsets and doesn't just play out the way they tell us it's going to play out?
Well, are you more likely to watch women's beach volleyball now that the United States is out?
No, definitely not. So I will definitely not watch the gold medal game now.
But if they were competing, you would watch.
Yes.
So I think there are certain things. Now, from a TV perspective or NBC, you want to play the hits. So Simone Biles wins yesterday. She's won her 4 golds, but there's still the fascination of seeing the best be the best. Michael Phelps, we tuned in to watch Michael Phelps. Katie Ledecky knew she was going to win. I think you like certain stories. It's almost like in any other sport. We like those upsets in March Madness, but when we get to later on in the Final Four or the title game, that's when you want to get it back to the big schools, the big names, to win a championship. And I think we feel the same way, or look at the Olympics the same way. I want the greats to be great, and occasionally you'll get that upset or that unique story, but for the most part, I think you want to have people tuning in knowing what they're going to see or knowing the person they're going to see.
There's nothing NBC can do about it, Dan, but do you think it hurts Simone Biles and the gymnasts a little bit that we already know the results when we're watching them, when, for Michael Phelps and for Usain Bolt, it's live, right? We don't know if Phelps is going to win that race or Usain Bolt's going to win that race, but for all the gymnast activities, it's, well, we already know she won gold or we already know she won bronze. I mean, I like that they show it in prime time because obviously everybody wants to watch it. I guess I just wonder if it if it hurts the amount of attention and publicity that those girls will get as a result?
I think they're finding that there's just this group that is going to watch. I mean, there's millions who are going to watch no matter what. Now, I knew that she won, but I still wanted to see, because there were people who went over to it and came back and said, she was unbelievable. So even though you know she's going to win, it does take away a little bit, but there's still this fascination. I mean, people just love watching the women's gymnastics events. They just do.
Dan, last question. How close is Usain Bolt to showing up his competitors? Because I know, NFL guys get mad with Cam Newton in the end zone. Remember, Titans linebacker went after Cam, and that's happened. I just was watching the last race where he's kind of looking around. I'm wondering, at what point do those other guys get mad and be like, dude, stop showing us up. We know you're great.
Well, it's like Cam Newton with his celebration. If you don't like it, then stop him. So Usain Bolt is an entertainer. They're Olympic champions, and we don't know much about them because they do what they're asked to do. Bolt is more than that. I mean, he made $30 million last year. The guy's a celebrity. He's showing. If Terrell Owens was running the 100 meters, this is how he would probably act. I think there's so much respect for how great he is that what are you going to do? What are you going to say to him? Hey, stop doing that. He's going to continue to do it until somebody beats him. But one day that may happen, and then you'll get that moment where people say, "Yep, you finally, a little payback here, a little karma there." But I don't see it happening here.
Dan, always appreciate the time and really, truly appreciate the opportunity to sit in for you when you're out. Thanks so much.
Thanks for doing it. I appreciate it. And is Andrew Siciliano in tomorrow?
I believe that is the case, yes. Mr. Red Zone, Mr. Gold, is it Gold Zone or Olympic Zone?
Yeah, he's doing the Gold Zone, I think, for the Olympics here. So, but thank you for filling in, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. There he is, Dan Patrick, the boss.
This program on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by Weber's Sauces and Seasonings. For the best grilled taste, go to the expert, Weber's Sauces and Seasonings. Call grilling flavor up to the bigs.
Out to Vegas for the weekend. Just roll those dice.
Don't miss Sports Talk Live on Comcast Sportsnet. David Kaplan leads a roundtable on the day's hottest topics. Sports Talk Live, presented by the all-new Chevy Silverado. Weeknights on Comcast Sportsnet.
Hi, I'm John Lester, and you're watching Home for Cubs Baseball, CSN Chicago, presented by State Farm.
Whoa, that doesn't look good. No, not you. Ordinary fuels can clog your engine with dirt. It's like lugging this around. It's dragging down your fuel economy. But over time, using new and improved BP gasoline with Invigorate helps clean up that dirt, like hundreds of scrubbing brushes. So that means a cleaner engine, which helps you get more miles per tank. I'll be here if you need me. New BP gasoline with Invigorate, our best fuel ever.
A well-put-together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is the precision of professional grade. Step up to GMC and get cash back for up to 16% of the MSRP on these select 2016 GMC vehicles. That's over $8,400 cash back on this Yukon Denali.
Excuse me. I think there's a misprint.
Oh, model year-end clearance event. Looks right to me.
Shouldn't it be clear?
Clearly, it is time to get a great deal and a reward card on this turbocharged Jetta. Got to make room for the 2017 models. It is a clearance event. Why is that so hard for people to understand? Seems clear to me. Clear to me. Ready for a test drive?
Whatever you want to call it, don't miss the Volkswagen Model Year-End event. Hurry in and lease the 2016 Jetta S for $149 a month after a $1,000 bonus.
every football movie that came out, I watched. Necessary Roughness, Rudy, The Program when I was in 9th grade, Any Given Sunday. I watched them all. And our next guest was pretty much in all of them. It's unbelievable. He's like my idol for the roles that he played, especially in The Program, which I'm guessing is the one that he probably hears about the most. He's Andrew Brynarski, who actually is playing a tough guy, surprise, surprise, in a new movie that just came out recently, American Dresser, coming out later this year. Andrew, really appreciate the time. First of all, did you play high school football at North Penn? I didn't even realize you were from North Penn.
I did. We had a teacher strike my senior year. We played half a season. We had to practice on our own. That's a movie in itself right there. But we got 8 games off my senior year over at North Penn.
Got it. For those people that don't know, it's pretty much the biggest school in the state of Pennsylvania, and it's a powerhouse public school program in Southeast PA outside of Philly. So
back in my day, it was still CB West, though. We weren't the powerhouse that North Penn went on to be. I'd love to take the credit for it. Maybe I inspired some kids after I left.
Nice. The other question I wanted to ask you, so in order, you did Necessary Roughness and then The Program and then Any Given Sunday. Is that correct?
Correct. In between, I did we almost had a show that almost went on FX called The Grid at one point, which was pretty cool. It was pretty much Any Given Sunday, the program for TV, but they didn't pick it up. And I did some other cool football stuff, too. Did a football Coors Light commercial with Howie Long. That was awesome. But football's been good to me.
So what's the favorite?
For a guy who never played football.
There you go. So Andrew, what's your favorite football movie that you did?
I love them all. I mean, I put my heart, my soul, and my back into them, as you know, Ross. So, I don't know. They're all pieces of my life. I really, really put everything I had into doing those performances and really had a good time working with the professionals involved and the people that I got to work with. It was a blast, all of them. Necessary Roughness. I mean, that was the first football film that I did. And I have great memories about that, doing that down in North Texas. And then The Program we did in South Carolina. University of South Carolina down there. We worked for George Rogers. We worked with some great people down there. And the actors, I mean, some pretty incredible actors in these films. James Caan was a blast to work with. On Any Given Sunday, there's so many people I can't even Y.A. Tittle, Johnny Unitas, guys like this were on the set. Along with Charlton Heston and Ed Margaret, and Lawrence Taylor. I mean, it's been pretty amazing. I mean, as far as those films go, they're great pieces of my life.
Which one do people?
Being a fan.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude, huge fan. Which ones do people bring up the most? The Program, Latimer?
There's not a day that doesn't go by that some cool tough guy like you doesn't stop me somewhere and tell me they're a big fan of the films.
Nice. Well, you have to understand, Andrew. So, I'm in high school, right, in the mid-'90s. The Program came out when I was a freshman. So then the next 3 years, the night before two-a-days, the night before we were really going to go out there and get ready for camp, we all would get together at somebody's house and watch The Program. Like, as a team, it was mandatory. And so that was awesome. The other thing I remember is when I was in 9th grade, so I wasn't on the varsity, but in our biggest game of the year against our rivals, multiple guys on the other team did the skull face mask, did the face paint, and we killed them. And I remember all the guys saying, I bet you guys feel like jerks now.
Right on, man. Right on.
So how big were you, Andrew? How big were you in The Program and Any Given Sunday? Like, how much did you weigh for those films?
In The Program, I went from 257 to 273, and in Any Given Sunday, I was probably around 310.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. What are the pros and cons of being 6'5", 6'6", that big. Obviously, there's.
Tell me.
Well, no, I mean as an actor. Because obviously there's certain roles where you're going to get the football roles, but then there's like 90% of the roles you have no shot, right? Because you're just way too big.
How do you feel being an NFL commentator, being bigger, stronger, faster than the rest?
I love it.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, I don't know what it's like being a little guy. I don't lie, man. Not being a little guy, I don't lose much sleep over not being a little guy. It works out all right for me. I play big, cool, tough guys in the movies, and it works out all right for me. It's a lot of fun that way.
Yeah, I mean, in all sincerity, especially Latimer, I mean, all of them, like the bathroom scene in Any Given Sunday, so many of the scenes with Latimer, you really are an excellent actor, man. These guys make fun of me when I say...
I put a lot of myself into those quality scenes.
I hope so, man. It was absolutely unbelievable. Now,
the bathroom scene with James Woods is just so funny. It just makes me laugh thinking about it.
Do you
the whole fact that we pulled that scene off?
Yeah, it was amazing, man. It was absolutely amazing. Tell me a little bit about your latest movie. Ooh, I think we lost him. Let him know if he calls back in. Let him know that I said thanks and I appreciate it.
Latimer,
dude.
You guys were broing out right there.
Dude, how about when he said, I don't know, how do you feel being bigger, stronger than everybody? Hey, call him back, Fritzy.
He actually just called back and said he had a blast. Thanks for having him on. Wanted me to make sure I gave you his number and want you to give him a call so you guys can talk some more off the air.
Seriously?
I'm totally serious.
No.
He just called and
Fritzy.
said, make sure Ross
don't do this to me.
Make sure Ross has my number. I'd love to chat with him some
Fritzy,
more.
he's originally from near Philly. We could hang out. We could have lunch together, have a beer.
You guys are going to become best friends.
I can have a beer with Latimer.
Save on all the new Toyotas at Oakbrook Toyota during the Toyota Annual Clearance Event.
As God is my witness, I'll never pay too much for a car again.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on new Toyotas or $3,000 cash back on all remaining 2016 Toyota Camry models.
Bob Rohrman.
Bob Rohrman's Oakbrook Toyota in Westmont, only 5 minutes west of the Tri-State on Ogden Avenue.
Esurance does auto insurance a smarter way, like their photo claims tool. It helps settle your claim quickly, which saves time, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call. Esurance does insurance a smarter way, which saves money, like bundling home and auto coverage, which reduces red tape, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's home and auto insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
Tomorrow, the homestand is almost over, but first, the boys in blue have some business to settle with Milwaukee. 2 Central Division rivals, one great matchup. Cubs versus Brewers, tomorrow at 12:30 on CSN.
From the first building block to the last coat of paint, Menards is here to help. Get an 11% rebate on everything in the store, including thousands of sale items. Whatever you're creating, you'll save 11% on everything you need, so you can finish your latest project and start planning the next big thing. Get building with an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices now at Menards. Good through August 20th. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Starbucks Double Shot Energy. It's the bold taste of real Starbucks coffee, blended with a variety of delicious flavors. For the energy you need all day and the great taste you want right now. Starbucks Double Shot. Real life energy.
This is the last great Coliseum, where the season starts to feel like a closing price.
Fire goes around.
This is the night race at Bristol. This is where it gets good. Saturday, 7:30 Eastern on NBCSN.
So many awesome things we've gotten into the last few days. I do want to get your thoughts on Jerry Jones and Paul Tagliabue being the contributor category candidates from the Hall of Fame committee this year. And let's be honest, when it comes to the Veterans Committee or now the Contributors Committee, once they nominate somebody, it's pretty much a done deal. I can't remember the last time a Veterans Committee guy did not get inducted once and not get elected once he was the candidate from that committee, Paulie.
If you could remove whether you like or dislike Jerry Jones, what has he done to be considered a Hall of Famer? Now, he owned the Cowboys that won 3 world titles. How many? 2 decades ago?
Yeah, and he was technically the general manager of that team. Pulled off the Herschel Walker trade, drafted Aikman, Emmett, Irvin.
His contribution to the game?
I think he's getting in more for what he's done on the business side of things and the growth of the game. I mean, he's the most influential owner in a league that has grown by leaps and bounds.
Has he been good for the fans? He gave the Cowboys fans.
Tell me. You're a fan.
He gave the Cowboys fans probably the most state-of-the-art stadium in sports.
He hasn't been that great for Cowboys fans over the last 20 years. Where they made 2 playoff berths? They've won 1 playoff game since like the early 90s, McLovin?
Yeah, but he set the tone for the modern behemoth that is the NFL with that giant monitor. Like the excess of this giant money-making machine. He's done a lot more than Goodell.
So wait.
It's all about...
You think Jerry Jones should be in the Hall of Fame because they got a big video board in Dallas?
I think, yeah, he's sort of, to me, he's the architect of what we know as the modern NFL, much more than Goodell.
Seton.
Completely agree with Andrew. I think ultimately he's basically the guy running the NFL and has been for a long time.
What about Paul Tagliabue? Don't you feel like Tagliabue on some level, him getting nominated, isn't that kind of a shot across the bow at Goodell? Yeah. Isn't that on some level reaction to how things have been recently with Goodell?
Don't all long-term commissioners get nominated? It's just it's a matter of time.
Tagliabue was up a lot of years. He was in a hotly. Peter King would always write the Tagliabue debate was heated because a lot of people didn't like him.
We got to get to what we learned today before we run out of time here. Fritzy, what did we learn?
Packer opponents, even if they're getting crushed, can't wait to be given a bratwurst after the games at Lambeau Field.
Nice. McLovin?
You call a chocolate eclair a chocolate crunchy thing? What is it? Captain Crunchy?
No, just a Chief Crunchy.
Chief Crunchy.
Never heard of that.
There's a chocolate Chief Crunchy bar or a strawberry Chief Crunchy bar. Yeah. I think that might have been, I don't know if that was high school or my school, but absolutely. Seton?
Ross, you've got a new best friend.
Yes.
My name is Andrew.
And I legitimately have his cell phone number, and I will be calling him during the drive back to Pennsylvania.
I'm not even joking. He's like looking forward to that phone call.
That is amazing.
We should roll on that. Can we have audio of that phone call? I got to have that.
Oh, man. Paulie, what'd you learn?
You and Latimer from the program are going to bro out like nobody's business.
Yeah, probably. I just want to hang out with him one time. Is that too much to ask?
Like, imagine walking into a bar with that dude. Like,
yes.
The two of you come walking in. It's like, good
Lord. Fritzy, what did I learn?
You learned, well, I think you already knew this, but to reconfirm, Zac Efron is the bee's knees.
Is that what I said?
You sure did.
Have any of you guys ever used that expression before?
Not about a guy.
That's a female? That's like that. Really? The bee's knees? To the girls, he's the bee's knees. He's like the new guy that's the bee's knees. Anyway. You guys making fun of me for that? That's how we're ending the show.
That's like Leave It to Beaver Days, bee's knees. It's got to be 50 years old.
I don't even think I've ever said that before. I don't even know where that came from. That was like right here in the back of my brain. Awesome 3 days. You guys are all the best. Enjoy the rest of the week. That'll do it for me here on the Dan Patrick Show. understand about the tweets I get at midnight. I'm getting like the 21st person to tell me something 10 hours later. You know you're not listening to it live, right?
I like the person who yeah, hey, you guys just stole my idea. Shout out would be nice. We got like 1,000 other people that said the exact same thing.
Somebody tweeted me and said, you know nothing about marijuana.
You know, you brought up that point. If it's addictive, how can they make it legal? People have problems with Robitussin. That's a big addictive drug.
Robitussin?
Oh, you never Robo-trip?
This is DirecTV, now part of the AT&T family and home of the Red Zone, the Fantasy Zone, the Dan Patrick Show, 21 years of NFL Sunday Ticket, Rich Eisen, and America's premier source for sports entertainment.
I'm Michael Stevens, midfielder on your Chicago Fire, and you're watching CSN Chicago.
No matter how you spell it, Jorge Soler has power, and it was on full display against the Brewers. Hey everyone, I'm Sierra Santos, and this is Sportsnet Central presented by CLR. The Cubs locker room is still buzzing over Anthony Rizzo's amazing catch.
Yeah, I'd give him a 9 out of 10. I don't want to give him too much credit. Don't want his head to get too big, but it's a pretty cool catch.
The Blackhawks make their pitch for a free agent phenom, plus who you can expect to see on the field in Foxborough. Sportsnet Central starts right now.
You're connected to Sportsnet Central, presented by CLR.
Along the right field line. And Rizzo on the ledge. He's got it. Oh, what a play.
Call the bobblehead company. We got the tarp catch. Now we got the ledge catch.
Both against the Milwaukee Brewers. Give him the gold glove right now.
Anthony Rizzo repeated history Tuesday night with another spectacular catch. That capped off a day-night doubleheader sweep of the Brewers. The Cubs wasted no time giving the fans something to cheer about. Bottom one, Dexter Fowler leads it off with a walk. Chris Bryant follows that up by getting hit by the pitch after Rizzo popped out. Bends over, shoots a single through the right side. Fowler coming around to score. The throw home is not in time, and it's a 1-0 game. They weren't done yet. Addison Russell just flips one out into right field. Bryant scores easily, and it's a 2-0 game. Then Jorge Soler showed some serious power. Ninth of the season for Soler, estimated at 450 feet. Cubs put up a 5-spot at first. Same score in the bottom of the third. Rossi gets in on the action. He blasts one deep to left and out, his 8th of the season, and it's 6-0. John Lester found himself in cruise control after all that run support. He strikes out Chris Carter in the 4th. In the 5th, Martin Maldonado goes down looking, followed by the opposing pitcher, Jimmy Nelson, going down on strikes. Lester goes 6 2/3 innings, gives up 1 run on 3 hits, and struck out 7. He leads to a standing ovation from the Wrigley faithful. Top of the 9th, now it's 6-1. Travis Wood gets Scooter Gennett to ground out to first to end the game. Cubs make it 3 in a row. They win it 6-1. The Cubs got to Jimmy Nelson.